What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Am I the Asshole music story episode, where we take the Am I the Asshole stories, but we look at it from a music angle, break it down in hopes that you take something home with you to help you out in your career, or if you're not into music, it's just entertaining for you. Today, we got 2 episodes. So y'all know these have been user submitted. A couple of them are pretty short. So instead of just pushing them off to the wayside, I do want to combine 2 of them that are kind of in the same vein, see if we could pull some things from it. So really get comfortable, because we got 2 stories today. And as always, if it's your first time here, you should know I do this for the overlooked, the underbooked, and the overprepared. You're not solo. You're just meticulous. Am I the asshole for telling someone her energy doesn't pay studio bills? Ooh! Delusion time. I love these delusional stories because then we get to tell somebody else who might share this delusional sentiment that they are in fact delusional and they might want to pivot, change up their ways. I know this girl from way back in high school. Back then, she was always talking about how she was destined to be famous. And of course, the delusion begins. Now in high school, it's cute to say, yeah, I'm about to be famous. Trust me. I did the same thing. I think I wrote something in my yearbook quote for my senior year that I was about to drop a mixtape, and I shouted out my little clique that I was in. It's corny and cringy to look at now, but in high school, it's cute to say that. As you get older, your delusion needs to start taking ground in reality and seeing how you really gonna make this thing work. Fast forward 12 years, she's still saying the same thing. Only difference is now she calls herself an independent artist, even though I've never heard a single original song from her. Not one. Yeah, we diving straight into it. So you mean to tell me this young lady's approach has not changed? She still says the same thing. Hey man, shout out to her for being consistent. I'm sure her social media following is cracking, because having that type of consistency 12 years later, phenomenal. It's actually admirable. I wish I could have that kind of consistency. Almost wish I had that kind of delusion, except for the no work shown. Like, you don't have any type of product to say that this is what I do, this is how it gets down. That's crazy to me. Last week, she posted a GoFundMe titled Invest in My Vibe. She made a GoFundMe? Look, I've thought about making a GoFundMe. Like, hey, I got this project I'm working on. I want to be able to craft it and do something more than what I've done in the past. But to make a GoFundMe and they don't have any work to show for it, and the title is Invest in My Vibe, what is happening with today's timeline? Yeah, that's delusion on another level. The description literally said she needs $10K to start her career. $10K to start? You haven't started your career? You said back 12 years ago that you was about to be popping. How you not started yet? And you need $10K? I got my stuff started with less than 1,000. Here's the breakdown. $4,000 for studio magic, $3,000 for visual aesthetics, $2,000 for wardrobe to match the brand, and $1,000 for energy work to protect her art from haters. Ma'am, there's so much wrong. What did we say here? We said $4,000 for studio magic. Do you have the studio in mind that you want to work at? If you're just starting, you don't need to be at a $4,000 studio. You need to be in somebody's closet recording into that microphone, because you ain't got nothing to show for it. What else you say? You said $3,000 for visual aesthetics. What does that mean? As a videographer and a semi-professional photographer, what does visual aesthetic mean? Because have you seen cell phone quality these days? You could take your cell phone and record a high quality video and nobody would be the wiser. You can put it in professional mode and you can control all the aspects, get your friend to videotape you, and it don't take $4,000. And especially if we're talking about aesthetic, because now you're not making a distinction between video or photo or Instagram or TikTok. You're not making a distinction. I need more specificity. And then you go on to say $2,000 for wardrobe. Ma'am, what are we doing? You don't have a single song. Why do I give you $2,000 when there's no proof of concept? And then $1,000 for energy work. Now, for all of my energy workers out there, I am not about to shit on you. That's not what I'm about to do. What I am about to do with this young lady is, you don't have anything to hate. I'm sure any energy worker will be like, send them my way. I'll protect them all they want, because that'll be the easiest job. They have no specificity. Energy workers like to have specificity in what they're protecting you against. And if you don't have anything to hate on, y'all know what I like to say. What are we doing? Here's the kicker. She has no music recorded and no plan besides, once I get the funds, I'll know what to do next. The only portfolio she shared are a few heavily filtered TikToks of her lip syncing other people's songs. You live in another galaxy. Your delusion is out of this world. Your delusion needs to be studied. And don't get it twisted. I've seen artists do this. I've seen artists say, once I get the money, I'll know what to do. Let me help you out right now. Start doing the things that you want to create right now. Without the money, without the budget. What'll happen is you'll find workarounds. Your creative mind will know another level because now you have to create without. And then once you get it, your creativity will know another level because now you do have it and you have the experience of creating without. So now you got tricks that you can accompany with funds. There's a wow factor involved in that can't be explained because now you have access to the resource, but you want the resource without the know-how. Get the know-how first. Write a song. Just write it. You ain't got to record it. Look, if you want to record it, grab your phone, turn on the voice memo, play the beat in the background, and make it happen that way. But you operating on another, like I said, your delusion needs to be studied. You're operating on a level of delusion that only 5-year-olds work with. Actually, you know what? 5-year-olds are better. They have creative pathways. They gonna create lava out of a carpet. They gonna see a mansion with a box. You want a mansion before you even worked for it. What are we doing? I messaged her, suggesting she at least record a demo on her phone and put something online to build buzz before asking for that kind of money. Okay, so here's where it can get a little spicy because, like I said in another video, once you start DMing people unprompted, unprovoked, trying to give them some advice, they could turn up on you real quick. Now, she is being so bold into asking for money, but if anybody decides to give her money, that's their problem. That ain't yours. You don't make it your problem by sliding into somebody's DM, giving them unprovoked advice. I've fallen into that trap many a time. That's one of the reasons why I do these Am I the Asshole stories. I can give you my advice because you're asking for it, or at least you just want the story to be told. But I would avoid sliding into somebody's DM. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Because she is asking for money, but I would avoid that. You know what I'm saying? It can get ugly. She replied with, real supporters invest before the product. If you need proof, you're not my audience. What audience? You're being unfair. What audience? An audience means you've shown them something and they're with you. You don't have an audience, ma'am. Your delusion must be studied. It must be right up there with Einstein's brain because how real supporters invest without seeing it. I get it. You work for a church. You want people to operate in faith. You should probably start a church. That's what you need to do. You should start a church. When you're working in the entertainment industry, we operate on what's proven to work. This is probably why half the music sounds all identical. That's another story, another topic. We want to see that you are deserving of the accolade. You're literally building your own platform to be an industry plant. That's what you're doing. Go build a church. She's now blasting me on her Instagram story saying I'm jealous of her vision and afraid of her shine. Meanwhile, people in the comments are actually sending her money. Like I said, man, let them do what they do. She clearly has a team, a community of delusional people. You know what I bet? I bet she pretty. I see a lot of pretty girls do this. When you're pretty all your life, you really never had to work for anything. Not really. You, the pretty person, might feel like you worked for everything you've got. And by all accounts, you would be right in your mind. But as somebody who wasn't blessed aesthetically in your same close-knit proximity, they will tell you a lot of things were different for them. And they've also had to learn how to operate. Again, remember creativity, creating without. People who don't have the aesthetic blessings had to operate differently. They had to do things different. Once they step into their confidence, even some of them becoming ugly ducklings all of a sudden, like it's like, oh, wow, you're fine as hell. Even those people have a different appreciation for the work involved with it. But I would assume this is one of them pillow princess, stare at the camera. I'm cute. I'm cute. So, am I the asshole for telling her that manifesting isn't a business strategy and nobody's gonna bankroll their dream without proof she can actually make music? Before I get all the manifestors mad at me, Let's take that out of the equation because that was a little spiteful. But to the verdict, are you the asshole? No, you're not the asshole. I mean, I don't even think you're really involved in this story too much. I think you're just kind of recounting it because somebody put you on blast. In the sense of sliding into somebody else's DM and letting them know like their business plan is kind of yeah, you're the asshole because nobody asked you. You're not the asshole for feeling the way you feel, and I hope more people gravitate towards how you feel. Unfortunately, this is the way things work these days. A lot of people cloak what they're doing or their lack of work towards doing something under this manifestation umbrella. The part a lot of people forget is there is work involved in that. So let's switch the word manifesting for those who are uncomfortable with that word. Let's switch it to praying. For all my Christians out there, y'all have heard prayer without works is dead. That's the same concept when it comes to manifesting. Manifesting without actually doing some type of work is dead. You have to actually put some work involved. In this girl's case, she ain't even recorded a demo. She hasn't even done anything on TikTok. All she's done is lip sync to other people's music. All you've proven, young lady, is that we really enjoy that person's song. We enjoy it so much, we can see somebody else sing it, and not even sing it, lip sync it. We can see somebody else lip sync it and still be satisfied with it. That should be motivation to you that you need to create something that's gonna help you out. Now, if you just wanna get into entertainment and you don't wanna do all that work, you still gotta do something. Get into some vocal lessons and find a writer, find a producer, and put in the work that way. Do something because it's frustrating because somebody like myself has put in a lot of work. And to see somebody thinking that it can come just on the strength of, I put up a GoFundMe, I look good, and I'm supposed to make it. I have this belief in myself. Again, with artistry or artists, you have to be delusional to believe you're gonna get to a certain level, but this level of delusion should be studied because you really believe that it's just gonna come to you because you're asking for it. You still gotta work for it. One of the stories I really love, if your car is broken down on a freeway, if you're just sitting in your car, people are gonna drive right past you because they don't know your car is broken down. But if you get out and start pushing, somebody's gonna pull over and say, hey, do you need some help? Get out of that car and start pushing, please. Hey, yo, since I got you here, if you have a wild story, janky promoters, studio drama, anything that made you question who was the real problem, I wanna hear about it. I'm building this Am I the Asshole music story series off of real stories from people like you. The link is in the description. It's anonymous and it's safe. I don't need your name, I just need the truth. And while you're here, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the page so you don't miss the next one. All right, let's get back to the chaos. But like I said, I promised y'all 2 stories, so let's keep this ball rolling and jump right in to the second story. Am I the asshole for telling a guy his world tour is just karaoke nights? Yeah, we here with it. So I know people like this where they invent a tour. They'll build out a whole flyer and they'll say, I'm on tour, but the tour is like a 10-block radius and it just happens to be all the venues they have connections with. This irks me a little bit because I do believe in faking it until you make it, but you're misleading people when you're saying I'm on tour. Let's get into it. There's this dude in my city who swears he's on tour. His Instagram bio literally says international recording artist, but the tour dates he posts are just flyers of local open mics at the same 2 bars, 3 miles from his apartment. What'd I just say? I hate being right. I love being right, but I hate when I'm right in this sense because I'm giving it away for y'all. But look, faking it till you make it is one thing, but actually doing the work is quite another. You put international recording artists? If you believe it that well, you might as well start saying it, but you're only hitting 3 spots, all within your immediate radius. So those same people are seeing you. You're not venturing out, you're in a 3-block radius. You're not even venturing to the next city over so they can get a wind of you. Okay, you got Instagram, but I'm pretty sure your algorithm is still relegated to that, 3 miles? My bad, 3-mile radius. I said 3 blocks. That 3-mile radius. I'm pretty sure all the same people are at the same thing all the time. Figure out something different. He's been posting like crazy about how people need to support the movement and invest in the brand. What brand do you have? You don't have a brand. You're at a karaoke open mic. You don't have no brand. These stories got so many delusions in it. I feel like I'm gonna be delusioned by reading them. But he doesn't have a brand or music. He never dropped a single on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere. Everything is just short IG videos of him freestyling over random YouTube beats in his car. Look, I respect all of my freestylers who sit in their car and get off on these YouTube beats, get off on these famous classic hip hop beats. I respect y'all who do that. What I respect even more is the ones who follow up with their own original music. When you're a cover artist, that is a lane. That is a lane, but you're not necessarily contributing, and you can't. And I've never seen a cover artist false flag like this is what I am. Even Luther Vandross, one of the most famous cover artists, had his own original music. There's another step to it. It sounds like you just want social media clout. That's what that sound like. Last week, he hit me up saying he's accepting sponsorships for his global takeover and offered to put my name logo on his tour merch, which, by the way, is just t-shirts with his face printed on copy paper and ironed on. I will say this is better than the last story. He's taking actual steps in his delusion. So his manifestation is taking, his prayer is taking a couple more steps towards another level of delusion. I can't be mad at somebody seeking sponsorships. At least he's putting in some kind of work. It's still delusion. It's still something that I wouldn't give my time to. I certainly wouldn't get no money to. But why are you concerned with this dude? This dude is clearly off his rocker. When I asked how much sponsorship was, he said $500. I laughed and asked what I get out of it. He told me to be a part of history and on the ground floor of a movement the industry isn't ready for. Everybody is saying like, oh, no, they ain't ready for me. They ain't ready for this type of heat. Everybody says that. Let's come up with a new slogan for our delusion. Let's come up with something different. Have something you stand for. Matter of fact, this takes me here. Anybody who's doing this, whether you're delusional or not, whether you really have real talent or not, make sure you at least have a purpose or at least a mission statement of why you're doing what you're doing. I'll be completely transparent with you. I just found what my mission statement is. I knew what my purpose was, but I just found what my mission statement is. I said it at the beginning of this video. I do it for the overlooked, the underbooked, and the overprepared. You're not solo, you're just meticulous. That basically means if you feel alone, this is where you need to be, because I often feel alone. I loved hip hop because I wanted to feel like I was included in something, and I felt included in hip hop. I want to share that same thing to everybody who would bother listening to me. But most artists, not even gonna say artists, most people that step they toe into this thing don't have a reason outside of, I just want to be famous. It sounds like dude just want to be famous because he already has all the little sayings and little quirks in his bio. International recording artist, global takeover, you're a part of history. All these things sound good. But when you start asking people for money, you got to have something more than that. Money don't want to hear, I'm about to be big. Yes, what are your steps? How do you plan to do that? What are your steps to make this thing a reality? Because they want to return. People ain't just about to give you money willy-nilly. I told him flat out, bro, this isn't a tour. It's karaoke night with better lighting. He got mad and said, people like me are why visionaries get overlooked. So, am I the asshole for pointing out that calling it a world tour when you never left the city is misleading at best? The verdict came in very quickly with these two stories. No, sir. You're not the asshole. Actually, better than the last one before that, because the other one, he slid into the DMs and approached them. He approached you with the money. Hey, I need you to sponsor this thing for this historical event. And you laughed at him. I would have laughed at him too, because you in my DM asking me for money. What are you doing, sir? Here's what I'm glad you did. I'm glad you straight up told him, bro, this is not a tour. This is what'd you say? Karaoke night with better lighting? Perfect, because you gave him a dose of reality. Now, the other side of that reality is he's probably gonna call you a hater. He's probably gonna call you somebody, as you said, like people like you are the type to limit visionaries, and you can't. Visions do start from a sense of delusion. I see this thing happening. But most of the time they come from people who are talented and have displayed their talent, whether it be academic, whether it be financial, whether it be entertainment, whether it be political. They have displayed some type of excellence, some type of talent to at least be like, you know what, I get the benefit of the doubt. This dude, this chick might actually go somewhere. They might actually do something. They delusional right now, but I believe in them enough. But he's going out and reaching and asking for $500 to put an iron-on transfer on a t-shirt. Last I checked, iron-on transfers are a lot cheaper these days. They used to be like $30 for a pack. I think now they're about $12. They're really cheap ones, but the $30 ones back in the day were really cheap. So because they used to be a lot more expensive once you started getting into the iron-on transfers that go on to black shirts. But now you can get them for like $12, $20 at most, and it's a pack. You know what I mean? Like, it's so to ask for $500 for that, plus I know you plan on selling them for a little bit more. You was right, he was wrong. There's not much else to say. I will say, when it comes to being delusional like this, try not to be these artists. That's the example I can give to all my artists watching. Try not to be these artists. If you're currently seeking sponsorship, if you're currently seeking GoFundMe payments, do yourself a favor, record something simple. Get on your socials, pull out your phone, whether it's just a voice note or an actual video, record yourself doing something, display your talent. Far too often, I jump on TikTok, I jump on Instagram, I jump on Facebook even, and I see people complaining about not having access to certain resources. Go a step further, they're just creating content and they're not putting the very thing they jumped on here on display for the world to see. They're not doing that thing. All I know is you make funny skits. All I know is you have funny little quotes. I don't know that you actually make music. Now, that might be by design, it might be by strategy, but you can't get frustrated when somebody doesn't support the thing that you want to advertise when you're not advertising it. Again, if you're an artist who these stories might sound familiar, do yourself a favor. Get some actual music content under your belt. It don't take a whole lot. If you got a cell phone already, use that. If you got a friend that has a cell phone, use that. But create something so somebody can see it. I hope none of y'all fall into these levels of delusion. These are my thoughts. Please let me know what you think about these stories. Let me know in the comments. And again, be nice. Hey, hold up. Before you go, if you enjoyed this Am I the Asshole story, please make sure you click the playlist on the screen. The rest of the stories go just as hard, and some of them a little bit harder than this one. I'm trying to give you these stories weekly and possibly faster, but I need y'all to keep watching. So click the playlist on the screen and stay tapped in. And hey, if you have a wild music story, don't hold back. Go ahead and click the link in the description and submit your Am I the Asshole moment. It could be your story I break down next. Tap in with me. You know I tap back. Peace.
Everything meticulous.